Peace. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about how the coronavirus is going to be worse than you have ever imagined. I really could have called this video how coronavirus is going to fuck up America. How COVID-19 will destroy America. I talked before about how it is a divine pandemic, and I mentioned several reasons why it is a divine pandemic. I didn't mention that it's actually getting people freed from jail, from the prison industrial complex. It's making them release prisoners. It's actually shut down the police department. It's got white people and Europeans banned from Africa. It's killing white people in Europe. It's killing white people in America. When I tell you it's a divine pandemic, it is. It didn't stop the elections, the Olympics. It didn't stop the NBA. It's shutting down European corporations. It's destroying the stock market. I could go on and on about how it is a divine pandemic. But in this video, I want to talk about how it's going to get out of control. And the way I want to talk about it, I want to be really scientific about it. I want to really give you the facts on how it is going to destroy America and how it's going to be worse than you can ever imagine. Now, let's look at it. It started in Wuhan, China. Wuhan is a small city in China. That's about 3,000 miles big. So it's about 3,000 miles. That's how big the city of Wuhan is. It's probably about the size of, let's say, Alabama, probably about the size of London. And we keep talking about how the coronavirus attacked China. But China is massive. China is huge. It really attacked the city of Wuhan. Not all of China, a very small city of which they was able to contain it. They was able to quarantine it. They was able to control it. And according to them, they got it under control. According to them, they're managing it. They're managing the death toll. They're managing the spread of it. They use some very advanced techniques in order to get it under control. Testing people's heat temperatures, tracking people to see if they've been near hot areas where people have the coronavirus, locking down the whole city, quarantining everybody. And they were effective, spraying down the neighborhoods, cleaning. They were effective in controlling it. But keep in mind, this is a very small city, and China is technologically advanced in ways far beyond America, and Chinese, being more of an imperialist country, are able to get the cooperation of their citizens in a way that America cannot. America supposedly landed free home of the brave. These people in America, these American citizens, are not going along with the government. They're not going to follow directions and stay in the house, and they're not just going to go along with it like the Chinese will go along with their government. So I'm only saying this to give you a comparison between the outbreak in Wuhan, China, and the outbreak that is in America. Now, Wuhan, China only has a population of about 11 million people on 3,000 acres, and they quarantined it. Once again, I said it's the size of probably about Alabama. Now, America has an outbreak spread out over its 50 cities. 50 states, many cities, many counties, many municipalities, spread out over 3 million acres. 3 million acres. That's huge. That's like 30 Wuhans. So while they can contain it in a small city in Wuhan about the size of London, you think America is going to control a virus that is spread across 3 million miles? Let's think about this. How many people in America? 300 million people in America, maybe? It's not the same. There is a dramatic difference. It is categorically different. China focused all of its resources. The mass producer of masks and everything. They produce everything you need to fight the coronavirus. They produce it. They focused all their resources on the city of Wuhan, China. They didn't focus it on all of China because it didn't affect all of China. So they affected all of their resources on Wuhan, China. Come to America. We're not focusing all our resources on Washington State. We're not focusing all our resources on Alabama. We're not focusing all our resources on California, Florida, Georgia. We have to spread these resources across 3 million miles. Dramatic difference. We see how it's killing people in Italy. Italy is the size of California. And as a major death toll, it is literally destroying Italy. That's another small city. Okay? That's a small state. We're talking about something that has affected the entirety of the United States of America. They already run out of beds. They already run out of equipment already. In most cities and states, it has already reached its maximum. I don't think you know what we're looking at. Now, individually, I don't think it's going to affect you that much. As a short percentage that you're going to die from this. But a lot of people are going to die. A lot of old people, a lot of people with compromised immune systems, health challenges, cancer patients, respiratory problems, underlying conditions. A lot of people are going to die in America. And it's going to be worse in America than it was in Wuhan, China. And worse than it was in Italy. So just off of the size, just off the population, it's going to be horrible. Now, the methods of quarantine is not going to work. Sheltering in place, none of that stuff is going to work. It will slow it down. But it's going to be a slow death for the mass population, the masses of the population in America. It's going to be a slow death, but equivalent. So slowing it down is not going to stop it. It's going to drag it out over a long period of time. And while it's being drug out, it's going to destroy the economy. It's going to destroy America. It's just going to destroy the system in the process of being drug out. Quarantining, sheltering in place, social distancing, none of that will stop the coronavirus, only to slow it down. So that means it's going to be drug out even longer than it was experienced in Wuhan, China. We in trouble in this country, particularly white supremacy. Now, a lot of people have been talking about, they just doing this for vaccines. They just really want to put some vaccines out, and this is their method of trying to vaccinate people. What you have to realize is, even if that's the case, even if they engineered COVID-19 and the coronavirus, and they put this out here for the purpose of vaccinating people, you all have to realize that white supremacy is not perfect. It is not even supremacy. The system is not perfect. So there's uncalculated consequences and effects of the move that they make, and unforeseen consequences to the things that they do. So even if that was their strategy, I'm telling you that it could be way more destructive and get way more out of control than they calculated. So even if it was the purpose of for vaccination, it is still going to it's going to be dangerously out of control. You believe that the white man is perfect, and you believe that they can, Bill Gates or somebody can just say, oh yeah, we're going to put out a vaccine. You think that's going to go right? You think that plan is going to go as perfect? You really believe in white supremacy if you think they're so strategical and that they have so much control over the universe, and that they have such a grasp on science and sociology, that this thing is going to go right. I'm telling you, it's going to continue to go wrong. And it's about to go out of widespread control. It's about to be terrible. They're not going to be able to control this. This is going to continue to get out of control extremely. They were not prepared. They did not take it seriously. And they disabled the aspects of the government that would have been able to effectively deal with this before it even got to the critical point that it is now. You have yet to see the worst. This is going to get out of control. America is about to be destroyed. It will not be the same after this. Mark my word. Me, I still say it is a divine pandemic. Shutting down the public food system, shutting down certain police stations, messing with the election of the devil back in office. I'm telling you, a lot of other people talking about martial law. What about martial law? We're going to go under martial law. You've been living under goddamn martial law. You have been under, this is not new. You're now just going to have a confrontation with martial law. You're going to see the complete, total, unavoidable, and undeniable evidence of martial law. You've been living under martial law. You just accepted it. You just accepted it. So no, martial law is nothing new. It's just going to be a confrontation with we're going to see how much of the martial law we've been under. We're going to see how much control that the government and the powers that be in this society felt like they already had. So no vaccine's going to save people because everybody's not going to take the vaccine. So this is going to dramatically go out of control. Even if they came up with a vaccine, everybody's not going to even take it because everybody's not going to trust that and believe that. So it's still going to spread. There is no hope for Babylon right now. There's no hope for white supremacy. There's no hope for this white man right now. What should you be doing? Preparing for the world, the hereafter. The destruction, the Melikion Medim of white supremacy, the day of judgment for this devil. You should be preparing to live after that. You should now start supporting black supremacy and black rulership because that is going to be the new world after the destruction of white supremacy that we're about to see. You better start now really plugging yourself and tying into black supremacy because white rulership is over with. It's embarrassed itself. It's being totally exposed as being a sham, as being incompetent, as being ineffective, it's being foolish, it's being unintelligent, it's being seen right now. So people have no choice now but to start becoming independent, self-sufficient, and starting now to conceptualize black supremacy. Because the leadership in this white man's world is pathetic right now. It's not showing how horrible a virus is. It's showing how horrible the leadership is in America for this to have gotten out of control and to continue to spiral out of control the way it is. It's showing you how horrible white leadership is, how horrible the system is in this country. So now you're going to be forced to choose another option. You're going to be forced to contemplate another option. It got you homeschooling your children. It got you becoming more independent and self-sufficient anyway. So now you have no choice. So now you want to start supporting black supremacy. Don't get distracted by the destruction of white supremacy and by the destruction of Babylon. Don't be distracted by that. Stay focused on KNBS, King Noble Black Supremacy, and put all your time, energy, and resources in establishing a new black world order. Because the positive thing about this, while the white supremacy is being destroyed, it can't be focused on us. It can't be worried about us and what we're doing and how we're building our own nation and how we're growing. It doesn't have time for that now. It has to deal with its own destruction. And the destruction of white supremacy is the automatic rise of white supremacy. And anything that is an enemy to white supremacy is a friend to black supremacy. And COVID-19 is our friend. It is our ally in the destruction of white supremacy and the removal of them from power. This King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnoblepblacksupremacy.com. Donate and don't hate.